We'll talk about a full quiver. The Duggar clan features 19 children. All of their names start with the letter J. And while cameras have filmed the family for the last 10 years, viewers have really had the chance to see what it's like to be a Duggar only recently.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Jen and this is Fundie Fridays. On my channel, I usually talk about Christian fundamentalism while I do my makeup, but I decided not to do my makeup in this video because it is really hard. I am in the process of redoing a couple of my videos that I feel could use some better production quality. When I first started this channel, I had no idea that anyone would even watch it, and I was rushing to get videos out once a week. That's all she wrote. So I'm going to be combining all of my Duggar videos into one today, and we're going to be covering some new stuff, some old stuff. The Duggars are a conservative American family, and they adhere to the independent fundamentalist Baptist doctrine. They are widely known for their multiple shows on TLC that showcase their large family of 19 children. And now they can kind of be said to be ambassadors of the faith due to their notoriety. Several male members of the Duggar clan have dipped their toes into the water of politics and law enforcement. They maintain a reputation as a wholesome family with quirky views, but I'm going to attempt to demonstrate the insidious behavior and beliefs that lurk inside their prayer closet. Start with the Patriarch Jim Bob Duggar. He was born July 18th, 1965, and he was born to conservative Christian parents, notably his mother Mary, who was known as Grandma Duggar. She sadly passed away last year and her funeral was broadcast on TLC. Jim Bob's sister is Diana and she had a daughter named Amy. Amy is not a fundamentalist, but actually an aspiring reality TV star.
You're still trying to figure out how you failed me.
You're not to choke me. What kind of father does that?
And listen, I had to get your attention.
You got a lot to learn,
I'm in
Daddy.
your mind, I'm in your heart. I've got total control.
Reminding you I'm right here.
Okay, stop. I get it.
Finally, the puppies and rainbows are gone.
I see something real
the
here.
whole time. I've not been smiling at all. What do you want from me?
This is what I want. I want you to look into my eyes. It wasn't your fault.
She now runs an online boutique and does mommy blogging. There are lots of rumors and speculation about the relationship between Amy and her cousins, you know, saying that maybe there's conflict there, but I've found most of it to be unfounded. We literally do not know what goes on behind the scenes in this family. We can't possibly know what their family dynamic is. What we do know is that Amy has spoken out against Bill Gothard, and she is generally more progressive than her famous family. Michelle. She was born September 13th, 1966, and let me just get this out of the way. Michelle's hair, it's so big because it's full of secrets. She comes from a more secular home, and she even has a sister who is a lesbian, though she doesn't associate with her. Michelle was a cheerleader who used to mow her lawn in a bikini, which I only tell you because she is determined to share that story with everyone. And she tells you the story because she wants you to know that it was sinful to wear a bikini and cause her neighbors to stumble in their marriage. Sounds fake, but okay. Michelle has also suffered from an eating disorder, but has since overcome it through the power of Jesus.
Before I came to know the Lord, I had been struggling in my self-worth, just feeling like, you know, I needed to measure up with all of my friends around me. And I just really began to have a wrong view of who I was and felt like, you know, I gained weight so easily. I ended up starting a bad habit of making myself get sick after I would eat, especially if I had more food than I felt like I should eat. And it was destructive for my health, my life. And I think as I was in that process, no one knew. I think all girls probably struggle with the same body issues. The struggle's gonna be there. How do you deal with the struggle? Life's too short to never have a chocolate chip cookie.
Legend goes that Jim Bob was smitten by Michelle while she was working at a yogurt shop. They dated, and then Michelle converted to his religion, and they married in 1984. When they first got married, Michelle actually worked outside the home, and the couple watched TV and used birth control. Despite being on the pill, Michelle still had her first child, Josh, in 1988. This was tragically followed by a miscarriage shortly after. Michelle insists that being on the pill is what caused her miscarriage. For the record, that's not how the birth control pill works at all. The birth control simply stops you from ovulating. It doesn't kill your unborn baby. Although a precursor search on YouTube would not tell you that.
I went back on the pill and I ended up getting pregnant while on the pill. And we ended up losing that baby and then realizing that with our own lack of knowledge, just allowing one of our own babies to be destroyed. That was painful.
After she went off the pill, Michelle started having babies about every 18 months, in spite of both the many health concerns and her advancing age. The Duggars don't watch TV or dance.
We try not to shake body parts around to draw attention to our bodies.
We don't want to stir up desires, different things that cannot be righteously fulfilled, that cannot be, I don't know. So anyways, our family has chosen not to dance.
They dress modestly, including the men who have been known to run a marathon in jeans.
Runners, take your mark. Get set.
Out of this sea of runners, you could pick out our boys pretty quick because our boys were the ones in pants and everybody else had shorts on. Yeah, we kind of stood out a little bit.
Can you imagine the chafing? With all that friction, you could start a fire. Jim Bob also has a reputation of being culturally ignorant. He often shouts hola at foreign people, even when they're not in a Spanish-speaking country. Generally, the whole family acts disrespectful when it comes to new cultures, making faces and acting disgusted when they eat local cuisine. And here's an example, Jim Bob trying to argue with a Scottish atheist.
I think, yeah.
Thankfully, they speak English here in Scotland, and it's just a little bit of a different dialect than what we're used to, but we like the accent. We think it's really neat.
What's your faith background?
My faith background, I don't really kind of believe in God much.
Well, you just know if we were a little closer to the sun, we'd burn up. If we're a little farther away, we'd freeze to death.
It's incredible.
And so God keeps everything in control.
And I think
If he'd reveal himself to us, we'd all be forced to worship him.
Every
but
sense, yeah.
he's got a plan for your life. He loves you, but he wants you to be, you know. We just have to repent from our sin, turn to him, give him the control of our life, and so good to meet you. We got to run.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're great, man.
The Duggars are, or at least used to be, associated with IBLP and Vision Forum. If you would like to know more about these organizations, go ahead and check out these videos. I cover the topic way more in depth. But in a nutshell, they are Christian homeschooling organizations, and both groups have leaders who have been caught up in sexual abuse scandals. The actual curriculum that the Duggars follow is from IBLP. It's called ATI, Advanced Training Institute, and it's pretty suspect. They used a set of texts known as wisdom booklets, which are pamphlets that try to combine reading, writing, and math with out-of-context Bible verses. These booklets also teach things like how to dress modestly and how to style your hair. There's even a booklet about what to do if you get sexually assaulted by a family member. Wisdom booklets are supposed to be taught to all family members, regardless of age or comprehension level, which is great because even the little ones are exposed to a large vocabulary.
And let's spell it together. Ready? D-E-F-S-T-I-C-U-T-E spells destitute.
The Duggars also recommend blanket training and the book To Train Up a Child. This controversial book teaches parents how to break your child's will through various abusive methods. I won't go into much detail about this book because I am going to make a separate video about it, but it is notable that in the 2006 police report that was filed because of Josh's indiscretions, mentions that the children are disciplined with a rod. There's also a video circulating that shows what people are speculating is Michelle yelling at her child and then acting nice to the camera.
What's going on? Say hi to our Instagram followers.
Howdy.
Hey, Mama. This is our Instagram followers. We're just making a video and saying hey. Hi.
This was from a Facebook Live video that Derek took, and in all fairness, I honestly don't see anything wrong with it, but people are going to assume the worst. The Duggars are infamous for their strict courtships.
Praying and talking for a little while, and I was just wondering if you wanted to make it official and if you wanted to officially court me.
As a family, they don't believe in physical contact, including kissing or front hugging, until marriage. Although it must be said that these practices do follow appropriate social distancing guidelines.
Did you say at some point that you had practiced with your hand?
So I was thinking, you know what? I wonder what it feels like. So I practiced on my hand. I think practicing on my hand was just to see what it felt like.
There has also been talk of a 400-question survey that potential suitors must fill out prior to the start of a relationship.
Did Mr. Duggar ever grill you guys about your financial situation before marriage?
It's on the 45-page application. Page 27, section B, line 4.
Sure enough. You think he's joking?
Joking. Y'all, okay, did y'all not fill out like a whole little thingy for Daddy?
Well,
yeah, they did parts of it. Everybody did the 30-page questionnaire.
I'm sorry, wait a second. Jim Bob made you guys fill out questionnaires that
He
were...
is not kidding, yes. Yes, they did.
I got sent a 50-page questionnaire. I sent it back at 105 pages.
For me, like, I mean, we were already kind of in our relationship, so I'd already sort of passed inspection, so to speak. But he still wanted, this was something that he wanted to start doing in the future. And so he said, well, Ben, why don't you go ahead and fill this out? And, you know, from now on, I'm going to have, like, all the guys kind of fill out sort of a questionnaire so that I can get to know more about him.
So we're more the guinea pigs kind of thing. So it's like any questions you think
You got it
aren't on
before
there.
y'all recording, though, right?
They were the guinea pigs. I got it at the front end.
Yeah, he got it at the front end.
The Duggars are very involved in their children's sex lives, and they always make sure that their education is accurate and well-informed.
Before the wedding night, definition of normal sexual intercourse.
Yes.
It was quite defining of a lot of the things that you need to understand, and I think really reality is a lot of people don't learn that.
I think it's so important for the man to learn to cherish his wife and for him to realize that it takes a lot longer for her to kind of get in the mood and stuff after they're married versus a man is instant on, instant off, but a woman is like, it takes time. This is a book that Dr. Ed Wheat, who was my doctor growing up, wrote, and he counseled Michelle and I before we got married and taught us everything we know. And so if I give this to you, you'll know everything we know.
I think I kind of understand how it works.
Yeah.
I think I learned that.
It's kind of like Legos.
Yeah.
From 1999 to 2002, Jim Bob served in the Arkansas House of Representatives. According to justfacts.votesmart.org, Jim Bob Duggar supports the death penalty,
lax gun laws,
privatized health care, abortion to be illegal in all forms, and thinks that welfare funding should be redirected to faith-based and community-based private organizations. $20,000 was spent on his campaign for U.S. Senate in 2002, and thankfully he lost in a landslide, along with his 2006 campaign as well. But stepping out of the hallowed halls of Arkansas Congress hasn't stopped the Duggars from being politically active. In 2012, the whole Ding Dang family came out to support Rick Santorum.
The Santorums are raising 7 precious children.
Senator Rick Santorum will fight for small businesses and bring American jobs back home. Rick believes in strong national defense.
He's a defender of traditional marriage, protecting the core of our families. He believes in securing our borders.
Mr. Santorum has an A+ rating from the NRA, and he will defend our gun rights.
In 2014, Michelle Duggar recorded a robocall that was encouraging citizens to vote for a bill that would actively discriminate against trans people.
Duggar, I'm calling to inform you of some shocking news that will affect the safety of Northwest Arkansas women and children. The Fayetteville City Council is voting on an ordinance this Tuesday night that would allow men, yes, I said men, to use women's and girls' restrooms, locker rooms, showers, sleeping areas, and other areas that are designated for females.
And in 2016, their best pal, Mike Huckabee, came to their defense as well.
When the Duggars came out and their son had molested their child, you more or less said that you felt sorry for their parents.
Pam, let me tell you something. You have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know that family, and I do. You don't know what those parents did and how they worked to try to take care of their entire family. I'm going to mark her down as undecided.
No, I'm very decided.
Good.
I stand
Thanks.
up for the rights of the children in
Have a
this
nice
world.
day.
Jim Bob's gaggle of obedient and identically dressed children attracted media attention, and TLC decided to make a TV special about the freak show. The first of these specials was aired in 2004, and it does not age well. In this special, 14 Kids Pull-Out Game Week, you can see creepy-voiced and prairie-dressed Michelle, along with the introduction of the infamous buddy system.
The system really means that mom cannot be everywhere at all times, and so my older children help to take care of the younger children.
Every Duggar has at least one buddy. If you're too old to need help from a buddy, that means you're ready to take on a younger buddy. A big buddy helps you get dressed, brush your teeth, comb your hair, get your breakfast, do your schoolwork, learn to play violin and piano, and sew. They're there to pick you up when you fall and keep track of you when you're out and about. No one is exempt from the Buddy Brigade. Jim Bob's buddy is Michelle, and Michelle reserves the privilege of being each of the children's first buddies.
When the baby is born, it's my buddy until it's weaned. And then from there, it goes to the other buddy, whoever's turn it is to get a buddy.
Now, according to Duggar internet lore, there was a clip where Michelle said something along the lines of, "My daughters know when I'm pregnant before I do because they watch the calendar like a hawk." Now, I couldn't find that clip anywhere, and I even bought the 2 episodes of 17 Kids and Counting where this supposedly happened. I vaguely remember it happening, but honestly, it could be a Mandela effect. This is the closest clip I could find that matches that description.
Well, we mentioned that you had something you wanted to say this morning, Michelle. It's a big day, Mother's Day coming up. We have a lot of surprises for you, but first you wanted to tell the kids something.
We're expecting number 18.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Shocked?
They didn't know my girls watch the calendar like a hawk, but we just found out Monday night.
Wow.
We were keeping
Are you guys excited? Some of you are like,
It's kind of a secret around our house.
Yeah.
They thought they were going to give Mom a surprise, but she gave them a surprise.
Well, are you in shock, or is it kind of, old hat now?
That's well, that's a huge shock. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Why not? She has a baby every year.
That's right. Well, but not, it's been 9 months, so yeah, I guess that's about right.
TLC continued to make specials about the family every couple of years as their family grew. In 2008, network executives must have figured out that it was just cheaper to leave the camera crew there instead of coming back every year between specials, so they launched 17 Kids and Counting. On the original show, the producers actually seemed to be poking fun at the family and lead them into unusual situations for comedy.
The girl's hanging out the window over there.
Just trying to get out. Trying to let me out of here. Definitely, you could see the whole tie-dye hippie movement kind of things that took place there, years before, and it was quite interesting to visit that. I thought,
hey, we're about as hip as you get. Inside, people are the same. No matter the color of the skin, how they dress, or really, people are people. The kids are all right.
a shirt, yeah.
We just need one that says, "The kids are all right." Those are funny looking glassware, isn't it?
Has Jim Bob ever used drugs?
No. Jim Bob has never used drugs.
There's been a few times I've been sick. I've taken some Tylenol or aspirin. No, I've never taken marijuana.
What are marijuana tablets?
While sadly the show has devolved more and more into just straight propaganda as time has gone on, with the help of TLC and church friends, the Duggars built their Jolly Green Fortress in 2006. It has a playroom, commercial kitchen, recording studio, and prayer closet.
First off, we have our prayer closet over here. We designed this so that this would be the space when somebody needed a quiet place to spend time alone with the Lord. That would be, the door's open, you know it's available. If it's closed, there's someone there. And it's not to be used for anything but spending time alone with the Lord. It's not for schoolwork or anything like that. And so it's been a real special time. We've had different times where there'd be more than, one in there praying together, and Dad and I with one of the children or whatever. So it's a good thing to have that place where, you can just have quietness.
You need it. And how often do you utilize the prayer
quite a
closet?
bit, but I think, and so does everyone else. So the door's usually closed because we need a quiet place.
In 2019, rumors started popping up that the Duggar house had been raided by the FBI. Apparently, there was some sort of investigation involving the used car lot that several Duggar sons operate. Little other information has actually come out about this raid, and anything else you might see is just baseless speculation. Facts are important, even when you're calling out fundies.
Thanks for joining us for KNWA News at 6.
Yesterday, KNWA reported that HSI was present at the Duggar house in Taneytown in connection to a federal investigation. Today, HSI spokesperson Brian Cox amended his statement, saying instead that the agency was in Springdale investigating a business associated with Josh Duggar. Cox says agents were present at Wholesale Motor Cars in Springdale. According to the Washington County Collector's Office, this location has Josh Duggar listed as the contact for the business, but he's not listed as the property owner. Cox says no charges have been filed and he cannot disclose the nature of the investigation. The Duggar family released a statement to KNWA saying in part, quote, "As to any investigation being conducted, to our knowledge, no member of our family is a target of any investigation of any kind by any local, state, or federal agency. We appreciate the outpouring of love and support received from our friends and fans."
Jim Bob and Michelle continue to pop up on the current Counting On show and are active on social media, even though the consensus is that nobody wants to hear from them anymore.
Michelle and I love to kiss.
Oh, Josh Duggar. What can I say that hasn't been said to death already? He was once the golden child of the family, earning the nickname the Little Governor when he would tag along with Jim Bob at the Capitol. Allegedly, Josh was set to court Arkansas State Rep Jim Holt's daughter, but blew it when he was caught watching internet porn. This was what was known as the sin in the camp that caused Holt to lose his re-election campaign. It was also around this time that he started molesting his sisters on an unknown babysitter. After these incidents, Jim Bob and Michelle attempted to sweep everything under the rug and punish Josh by sending him to help a church elder build a house and letting a cop give him a stern talking to. And in an incident that I'm sure is completely unrelated, this particular cop later got busted for child porn. According to the police report filed during the incident, Jim Bob had considered sending Josh to a legit rehab called Piney Ridge, but Jim Holt told him that the places like that will just teach him how to sin better. You know, just in case you were feeling bad about Jim Holt losing his re-election campaign. In 2006, the Duggars were all set to make an appearance on Oprah's show, but an anonymous email was sent to her production team stating that the Duggars had a nasty secret. Oprah's team forwarded the email to the police, and at that point, the Duggar parents finally decided to do something about Josh, though rest assured that their attempt at corrective action was decidedly half-assed. All of the family members were interviewed by the police, and the information is available online if you really want to read it, but I'll warn you that it is pretty disturbing. After all this, the Duggars decided to return to doing fuck all, and the whole situation just became a dirty small-town secret. But TLC went ahead and gave them a show because they can't turn down a train wreck, and since I have no shame, I'm going to reuse the opening to my original Josh video. This is an alternate reality where he finally faced justice for what he did, and I like watching it because it feels better than what really happened.
Catch a predator. The chat room and decided to hit on a decoy, an adult posing as a 15-year-old. Positions have you tried? You like doggy? The decoy says, "I never did doggy before." Now, the man with the bag of tricks is walking in our house.
Did you try some of my sweet tea?
And he's still willing to risk being exposed on national television. I know you're 12, but girls these days are way ahead.
Josh continued to play the role of favorite child and arrogant douchebag on TV. He married the first girl who would have him, and they popped out a few kids.
Men approach planning a wedding, I think I'm more of the kind that I look at it more of a systematic process. I say, okay, here's the desired result, and here's the way we need to accomplish it. Women look at it as it's a wedding, and X, Y, Z has to happen in between.
The way God ordained it all, Josh becomes the authority at the wedding. You know, he becomes her authority, not me. And that's the way God designed the transfer of authority. And it's a good design.
He wants to say, "I do," and hurry up and leave. He's got a lot of firsts today. He's got the first kiss, the first everything. So, but where's the wedding night? Are you nervous about the kiss?
Not really. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Looking forward to it? It's your first kiss, so I need to give you some pointers as far as what to do.
Yeah?
Since I've kissed a couple of boys in my lifetime.
You have more than one.
Imagine that, right? Yeah. Okay, so you don't bite her lips. Don't like head butter, you know, like go and like dive in. Yeah, because she's probably gonna go this way and you go the other way, and
He's gonna have love marks all over him, but he won't mind.
God, I wish I was dead.
Their wedding was televised by TLC, and Josh, who would later cheat on Anna, sang her the loyalty song.
When you have hard times and all others are gone, I will be there when the troubles have come. Through sunshine or rain, when no help can be found, things may seem hopeless, but just look around.
Ooh, check out this totally not creepy photo shoot of Josh and Anna and Jim Bob and Michelle and their twin pregnancies. In 2013, Josh and his wife Anna moved to the DC area, and he became the executive director of FRC Action, a lobbying PAC that is sponsored by the Family Research Council. The Family Research Council is an American fundamentalist Protestant activist group. The FRC originally started off as a division of the infamous Focus on the Family before breaking off in 1993. FRC's mission is to advance faith, family, and freedom in a public policy and the culture from a Christian worldview. FRC promotes what it considers to be family values, advocating and lobbying for policies in the government. They oppose access to pornography, embryonic stem cell research, abortion, and divorce. The FRC has been declared a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Well, really, I think quite clearly what we've seen, whether it's Hobby Lobby or now Priest for Life, this administration is set on trampling and running roughshod on those who hold deeply held religious beliefs. And what they're saying is, if you hold the belief that life begins at conception, as many of us do, that you cannot exercise your right as an employer, as a organization, to say, no, I will not pay for the death of unborn children.
The birth control pill does cause abortions. I mean, one part of it, or two parts of it, are there to prevent abortion, prevent pregnancy, but the third part of it actually causes abortions. And when did you first learn about that?
Well, you know, I've done a limited amount. I've done some research on abortion, on abortion causing drugs, and there's a lot of them out there. And I think people are shocked to understand what is it, what this really is about. And I think when you look at taking of innocent unborn human life, it takes on so many forms nowadays. The most pervasive of which is the things that people know about.
When I was looking for clips of Josh actually working for the FRC, I found this interview where in a few sentences he both condemns Islam but then turns around and demands religious freedom.
People want to extract. They want to talk about foreign policy. We talk about what's going on right now with ISIL and what happened this very day with the beheading in Oklahoma. It was spurred on by someone who was taking their religion, their belief in radical Islam, and going out and taking this out into its fullest extent. And I'll tell you, this is what we're seeing in tons of these situations around the world right now. And this president and this administration right now has refused to step up and to really deal with this. He has explicitly taken this stance that Islam is a religion of peace and all this kind of stuff, when we rightfully know that people are definitely pushed to go to their limits when they're willing to follow this ideology. And it's flawed. I'm not saying that every person that, that it is Islamic that would believe this way, but I do say that what we're seeing is there's a propensity towards people who are going to radicalize and go out that way when they hold to these kind of beliefs. And so what we're talking about here is the importance of making these things known, the importance of standing up for what you believe, having the discussion. The thing is, I have a lot of friends that don't agree with me. Okay, they may call themselves liberals. They may not. They're probably not in church on Sunday morning like most of us Americans are. But we can have a discussion. But what we've seen in recent times, and just like my friends the Benhams, who are going to be sharing later tonight, what we're seeing is an agenda to silence people of faith.
Shit hit the fan in 2015 when In Touch magazine invoked the Freedom of Information Act and acquired the police reports from 2006 and published them in their magazine. As a result of this scandal, 19 Kids and Counting was canceled and Josh lost his job. Josh released his statement in response. 12 years ago, as a teenager, I acted inexcusably, for which I am extremely sorry and I deeply regret. I hurt others, including my family and close friends. Jim Bob, Michelle, Jessa, and Jill all attempted to do damage control by sitting down for an interview with Megyn Kelly. It is notable that Josh did not participate in these interviews. It's suspect that this is due to Josh being a sad little baby boy who needs everyone else to pick up his messes for him. The interviews were super awkward because the Duggars kept making the situation worse by saying unnecessary and weird things.
He said he was just curious about girls and he had gone in and just
basically touched them over their clothes while they were asleep, and they didn't even know he had done it.
You saying, how could you unfairly, in their view, compare transgendered people to child molesters, suggest they are child molesters, knowing what you know about Josh?
I think that protecting young girls and not allowing young men and men in general to go into a girl's locker room is just common sense.
But this is different because you injected child molestation into it.
I think you actually said pedophile in that, and actually a pedophile is an adult that preys on children. Joshua was actually 14 and just turned 15 when he did what he did. And I think the legal definition is 16 and up for being an adult preying on a child. So he was a child preying on a child.
He was very sly, like the girls didn't catch on, you know? It was like, okay, if he catches a girl sleeping, you know, like a quick feel or whatever.
Once that controversy died down, Josh wasted little time in creating another one. His credit card and email address were linked to an account on Ashley Madison. For the unaware, Ashley Madison is a website for people seeking extramarital affairs. Josh not only registered an account, but paid for the guaranteed affair package. What that means exactly, I'm not sure, but what I do know is, allegedly, all of the female profiles on Ashley Madison are either run by bots, escorts, or escort bots. What you want with that information? Furthermore, an OkCupid account was also found to be linked with Josh's email. On OkCupid, there are questions you can fill out to determine your compatibility, and apparently Josh loves sex every day. After this scandal happened, Josh came out with another statement in which he said, "I have been the biggest hypocrite ever. While espousing faith and family values, I have secretly over the last several years been viewing pornography on the internet, and this became a secret addiction, and I became unfaithful to my wife. I am so ashamed of the double life that I've been living, and am grieved for the hurt, pain, and disgrace my sin has caused my wife and family, and most of all Jesus, and all those who profess faith in him. I brought hurt and reproach to my family, close friends, and the fans of our show with my actions that happened when I was 14 to 15 years old, and now I have rebroken their trust. The last few years, while publicly stating that I was fighting against immorality in our country while hiding my own personal failings, as I am learning the hard way, we have the freedom to choose our actions, but we do not get to choose our consequences. I deeply regret all the hurt I have caused so many by being such a bad example. I humbly ask for your forgiveness. Please pray for my precious wife Anna and our family during this time." Since Josh seems to have an oil and water relationship with consequences for his actions, he was sent to Reformers Unanimous rather than any substantive corrective action. RU has been nicknamed Prayhab and can be thought of like a giant timeout corner when Christians can go to think about what they've done. So after all these debacles, TLC decided to commit necromancy and resurrect the corpse of 19 kids and counting, this time under the name of Jill and Jessa Counting On. In this first episode, you can see, once again, all of the other family members speaking for Josh.
It is such a betrayal for a spouse to go through what we're walking through.
You know, who do you trust? Can you look out and, you know, see all these people, and are they, you know, who they appear to be?
It was just really hard to see that he had been making bad choices again.
Because whatever I am, that's what they want to be. I know that's what it was for me and Josh. I always wanted to be like him. But one of the toughest things I ever had to tell my older brother was, I don't want to be like you anymore.
And once again, things calmed down and Josh got fast to work at fucking everything up again. This time, adult star Danica Dillon filed a lawsuit against him for assault to the point of causing her physical and emotional injuries during an alleged affair. This suit was voluntarily dismissed in 2016, but for what it's worth, I believe you, Danica. In a less exciting scandal, Josh has also gotten in trouble for not having a proper permit to run his business. Josh and Anna seem to be living on or near the main property, probably so that Josh can be supervised. And they have 6 children.
Our chaperone. So we chose Jana and John David. We thought, why not have a double date? We are from Arkansas, no.
Jana. Jana is a stay-at-home daughter in every sense of the word. Many people have speculated why she's still at home, whether it be to watch after her younger siblings or maybe a lack of interest in men. I feel compelled to say that I think it's rude how people are constantly badgering her to do things like get married and have children in a way, and I think we should leave her alone. We all know what happens when you're forced to marry the first guy that will take you.
Was attraction towards each other there from the beginning of the relationship?
Was it? Jana is very handy and talented in all realms of domesticity, such as carpentry, gardening, and child rearing. I think she's cool. Well, except for the time that she poorly photoshopped a girl's shorts into a skirt. But John David. John David is Jana's twin, and if I had to describe him, I'd say he's quiet and snarky. He is a pilot, and that's it. Seriously, that pretty much described his entire identity. He's also a part-time constable, which is an elected peacekeeping official. Some get paid, some don't. Some have training, some don't. In John David's case, he pulls people over for speeding.
This motherfucker G.
No, man, I can't fuck with it right now.
Oh, man, I've been dealing with you for 3 motherfucking months. You ain't hit the pipe in front of me yet.
So what you saying, man?
I think you 5-0.
5-0? Man, I ain't no motherfucking cop.
Well, hit this motherfucker then.
In 2018, he married Abby, an educated Fundie who wears pants. Good on her, I guess.
I wish I was dead.
They have one daughter. John David is also involved with Medic Corps, along with several other of his family members and some Bates children. Medic Corps stands for Medical Evacuation Disaster Intervention Corps. For more info on that particular tale of Duggar stupidity, watch my Bates video. Jill Dillard. All right, we're gonna get spicy again. The inner workings of Jill Dillard's mind are an enigma. She is the first daughter to get married, and she did so to a freewheeling missionary named Dave Grohl. Shit, Derek Dillard. She was the first confirmed daughter to wear pants and has a facial piercing, and apparently she has been receiving actual legitimate counseling as of late. More importantly, she is sending her kids to public school. She is notable for her role as a midwife to her sister, along with a handful of other women. The issue with that is that the woman that she studied under got her license revoked for causing a birth injury. Her husband is seen as sort of an anti-hero in the Fundie snark world. On one hand, he's a leech, and he's the only Duggar-in-law that we know to ruffle Jim Bob's feathers and speak out against him. For a while, Jill and Derek lived in an unspecified area of Central America as missionaries. This would appear to be a fool's errand, considering that over 69% of the Latin American population is Catholic and another 19% are Protestant. They also faced backlash after they basically ripped people off while raising money for their various trips back and forth to the States. Turns out they weren't actually sponsored by the Southern Baptist Convention, and they are not licensed missionaries either. By far, their favorite thing to do on mission trips is play white savior.
You know, the violence down here is a reality that we have to deal with every day, as do people down here. So in that way, we can relate better to the people that we're serving and realize that, you know, kidnappings, other acts of violence, rape, murder, those are realities that everyone here has to face on a daily basis.
It's risky here. Just, we stand out as Americans, so yeah, it's definitely, we're a higher risk. You have to talk about things that probably a lot of couples wouldn't talk about. If we were back in the States, we wouldn't have to be talking about. Now, if you die, like, what am I supposed to do from there? It's hard to talk about those things, but it's also good for us to, like, if something happened, like, what I'm supposed to do.
One night, we were getting ready to go to bed, and we heard this loud crashing sound, and
It sounded like breaking glass. That's what
yeah. Derek's like, you go in the bathroom, which is our safe room. We have like our laptop, so we were messaging people back home, like, pray for us. We don't know what's going on.
But that particular instance ended up not being
Thankfully, it was just the shower rack.
big metal shower rack that had fallen.
Jill has had 2 high-risk labors, and people are always speculating on the status of her womb, which I find inappropriate. The only reason I bring this up is to remind you that Jill is very much sexually active, and she made a blog post talking about all the ways she gets her husband in the mood, such as having sex 3 to 4 times a week, LOL, putting on fragrant lotion before bed, kissing for at least 6 seconds, wearing sexy lingerie. And how can we forget Derek's companion blog, Hot Love, where he mentions getting to go to guys' nights at Chuck E. Cheese. Derek is currently in law school, and Jill sells pyramid scheme products and makes vlogs. The internet loves to talk shit on Jill for her perceived flaws in her personality when they aren't making fun of what she wears, which is ridiculous. The only crime Jill is guilty of is being awkward.
Where are we at? We are at a mosque, and we have Iraqi feast.
Oh yeah.
For Ramadan. Yes.
Good food.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad to see you here.
I'm so glad.
Yes.
I have to show it to Jessa too.
And if being awkward is a crime, lock me the fuck up. I guess she did instruct people on how to make a death trap out of a stroller. Eggs. Oops. Okay. So,
First you take your car seat, you put the handlebar all the way back, like extra far back. Then, let's see here. Then you just slide it over the handlebars. Make sure it doesn't get hooked on the fabric right there. And then you just center it up and let it rest right there on the stroller. And voila. Then you can travel tight. So this is super nice whenever you're in a hurry, you don't have a lot of space, and you can't fit, and there's Israel eating his egg, and you can't fit the big bulky stroller in your car.
But what do you expect from someone who was raised in a family that uses wisdom booklets and sister moms to raise their children? And while I'm on the topic of the Dillards, there is a whole transphobic comment thread going on in my original Duggars Part 3 video. Derek Dillard is a transphobic asshole. He antagonized and misgendered Jazz Jennings, a minor at the time, on purpose. He has said on more than one occasion that he thinks that SRS is abusive. Derek was right in saying that TLC and Discovery Networks don't care about people that star on their network, they just want money. After all, they are a media company, and they know their niche in the market, but they've also exploited Jill and her sisters after their childhood trauma. They've given platforms to abusive parents and child rapists. If Derek really wanted to hammer the point home that TLC is evil, I have no problem with that. But he didn't have to drag Jazz and the entire LGBTQ community down with her. He did it specifically because he is a bigot, and it is important to remember that one bold act of defiance should not mislead you into thinking that Derek is a decent person. And if you're going to agree with him in the comment section, then you're going to be called out for it and you're going to be blocked. I will not tolerate any transphobia, homophobia, sexism, racism, or anything like that on my channel. This is a safe space, and I will not put up with any hate speech that would make myself or my followers uncomfortable. You can kick rocks.
'Cause that's the bottom line. 'Cause Stone Cold Simpson.
Jessa Seewald. Once again, I'm going to reuse a joke here. Jessa Seewald is the Regina George of Fundies. I saw Jessa Duggar wearing maxi skirts and flip-flops, so I bought maxi skirts and flip-flops. Of course, I am kidding. I have never met her. I don't know what she's like. She does have a reputation of being snarky, which is particularly delightful because it contradicts the keeping sweet mentality that women like her are supposed to adhere to. She has 3 children, one with the god-awful name of Spurgeon, and I gotta admit, she has the cutest children I have ever seen. She usually keeps to mommy blogging on social media. When she first got Instagram, it was all fire and brimstone and abortion holocausts, but she keeps it neutral these days. She hasn't done anything outrageous other than the normal Duggar awkwardness.
I poured my life into Jessa.
Her husband is a dork, and he got roasted for trying to rap alongside Flame.
So we'll just sit down and just vibe.
Just, spitting the bars or whatever.
Anybody here believe that?
Flame, by the way, is the guy who sued Katy Perry for ripping off his song Joyful Noise. It is also a popular opinion that Ben seems high all the time. All I have to say to that is, who isn't high all the time?
Yeah, like expository preaching's good, like when they actually are like preaching through a book of the Bible. Top will serve the B. Anderson preaching that, hey, we're gonna preach the book of Romans, like from chapter 1 to finish. We're gonna preach
Ginger Vuolo. For the longest time, Ginger was thought to be the rebel of the family, and there is even a website dedicated to freeing her. Now we all know that she is just as submissive and Fundie as the rest of the family. Yes, she wears pants, but so do a lot of modern Fundie women. People were really betting on her to fly the coop because she made silly faces and expressed interest in living in a big city.
She might do good with like a visionary, spunky person. Somebody that can provide her coffee. No. She doesn't want to live 3 hours out from civilization.
Okay, city, please. City, please. But I'd be okay anywhere, but city would be awesome.
But if you didn't get somebody like that, the Lord could be working and teaching you something in that area.
Yes, that's for sure. I need to work on
so
a lot of
either
this,
way,
contentment.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Ginger's as cool as the next guy, but reading about the Duggars for 10 plus years, I'm pretty jaded. Her husband Jeremy is a spicy white Italian man, and he is an ex-soccer player with a criminal past. He's also a preacher with some pretty problematic views such as Catholicism is a pagan religion.
Just as Paul and Silas encountered the demonic in Philippi, so we encounter that here in Laredo.
In this city, we have the pagan religion of Catholicism gripping the souls of the majority.
Allowing children to express their gender identity means that they are ruling over their parents.
There's, I guess, a show, I don't know if it's on now or if it's coming out or something. There's a reality show about a family in California or something, and they got all these kids and whatever, it's a show. But one of the little boy was 5 years old and decided that he didn't want to be a boy anymore, but now he wants to be a girl. So now Devin is Davina, and the kid has told his parents and determined, well, I'm not really a boy, I'm a girl. And so the parents say, okay, well, if you're a girl, you're a girl. And so they go along with it. Well, that's a sign of the child is ruling. The parents have no discipline over the child or no instruction of what's right and wrong. It's just whatever you feel, you do. And now you've got a child who's barely come to cognitive understanding of the world the last couple years, determining that how they were created is wrong, and they're going to redo that. Do we see that all over the place?
And hitting your kids is a biblical right.
The discipline that God mandates in His Word, which literally causes absolutely no physical harm at all. If done according to... Now, I'm not saying there's not people who abuse it, right? And then run to Scripture to... No, that's abuse. When you're whipping your kid and he's got slashes on his legs and his... But biblically mandated discipline has absolutely no physical consequence to the child, and it's to drive the foolishness from them. And it's called abuse in our day.
Jinger and Jeremy live in Los Angeles and even jumped on the bandwagon to treat Kanye like the next Messiah.
And give you guys a few of my thoughts from the weekend. It's been an interesting weekend for me and Jinger. It's had a lot of Kanye West going on. The album dropped, Jesus is King, on Friday, which I listened to. And then on Saturday, we went to the IMAX film, basically, which is a performance of Kanye West's Sunday service, which was done at James Turrell's The Crater in Arizona. Fantastic film, just artistically. Some of the messages I'm getting, some of the things I'm reading on the internet, some of you need to be careful that you're not responding like a Pharisee, looking at a sinner like Kanye West and saying, Jesus could never save him. Or how dare you claim that Jesus would save him? He's still the same old filthy sinner. Jesus goes on to say to that Pharisee, rebuking him, he says, Simon, I have something to say to you. He said, say it, teacher. And he goes on to tell a story of people who owed a lot of money. And he said, the person who owes much, when he's forgiven the debt, who's more grateful, the one who is forgiven a little or forgiven a lot? And Simon says, the one who's forgiven a lot. And Jesus responds and says, you have judged rightly. Then turning to the woman, Jesus said to Simon, do you see this woman? I entered your house. You gave me no water for my feet, but she has wet my feet with her tears and wiped them with her hair. You gave me no kiss, but from the time I came in, she has not ceased to kiss my feet. He goes on, you did not anoint my head. Therefore I tell you, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much. But he who is forgiven little loves little. And he said to her, your sins are forgiven. Kanye West has been an influence for much wickedness for many years, but he's claiming the Lord has regenerated him. Be careful that upon that profession, you do not immediately jump to the conclusion the Pharisees jumped to.
Oddly, the connection between Jeremy and Kanye isn't that crazy of a jump. Kanye has been working closely with Pastor Adam Tyson, who graduated from the Master's Seminary, which is the school that Jeremy is currently attending. The Vuolos help out with Jeremy's mom's organization, SWAN, which stands for Scaling Walls a Note at a Time. This is a Christian organization that provides instruments and mentoring for kids whose parents are in jail. Not all nice charity and instruments, though. They also previously ran the Crisis Pregnancy Center at Jeremy's old church in Laredo, which, if you know anything about Crisis Pregnancy Center, they are very unethical. The couple have one child named Felicity, who the internet is very mean to.
Stop it. Get some help.
Joseph Duggar. Not much is known about Joseph Duggar other than he's nice. He's the only known Duggar to go to college, even though it was Crown College. See my video about sketchy Christian colleges for more info on that. He married an incredibly bubbly little girl, young woman named Kendra. So far they have 2 kids. Something else that's notable is that Kendra's mom is an anti-vaxxer, and she has a young son who has spinal problems that she lets other babies bounce on. Pregnancy cuck.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it again.
That's fine.
Josiah Duggar. Josiah has always been theatrical and over the top, and he even previously courted a young woman named Marjorie.
Hey guys, my name's Marjorie Jackson, and I have some Duggar insider news for you. Now, I bet you're all wondering, what is it? You guessed it, it's a courtship. Who is courting? It's one of the boys, and it's not John David, it's not Joseph, not Jedediah, not did I skip someone in there? Josiah! Josiah!
That's right, that's right. Margie and I just recently started a courtship relationship.
Well, what do you know?
That's the thing, and I think each person has a different structure. Obviously, I had all my good looks and all that on my side.
When the first wave of Duggar scandals hit, she hit the road. They broke up. One of the major legends that surrounds Josiah is that he was allegedly taken off camera during an episode of 19 Kids and Counting, and I guess beaten off screen by Jim Bob. That's the rumor. So I bought the episode off of Amazon and found the exact scene that people were talking about, and copyright claims be damned, I'm gonna show you the clip.
Smile and say, Mama's gonna have another baby.
Mama's gonna have another baby.
Really?
I think they were all shocked. They really didn't think that it would happen again. They really felt like, they were like, no way.
On this episode of 20 Kids and Counting.
I want to talk to you guys real quick. Hey guys, Josie's getting closer to 2, and Mom and I didn't even know if Mom could have another baby or not. She's 45 years old.
Personally, I don't think anything unsavory happened. Jim Bob is a bumbling idiot, but I don't think he would openly strike his child in front of a camera crew. At this point in time, his wife Lauren is probably more famous than he is. All I'm saying is that she has a flair for the dramatic.
I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses.
Hey, night school made me cry too. Online commenters have painted this picture of Lauren as a copycat to Josie Bates, and on further inspection, you know what? They might be right. No, I am not going to talk about Asa because that is a very sensitive issue. So... Joy Forsyth. Oh, what can I say about Joy? She had a reputation as a tomboy growing up and then transformed into a redneck domestic goddess. Joy's husband is Austin Forsyth. His parents run Fort Rock Family Camp, which is a Christian family outdoor recreational retreat. They were also featured on CMT's World's Strictest Parents, which, by the way, that episode has a Jewish girl on there that is forced to go to church with them.
This episode of The World's Strictest Parents.
All right. Book of John.
Meet the Forsyths, a family who believes that the Lord is their master.
Jesus is first, Dad's next.
And that a woman's place is in the home.
Supper's ready!
Terry is the head. I am the helpmeet.
For the next week, they'll take in 2 stubborn teens.
Came up with this idea of starting Fort Rock Family Camp with an idea of family restoration.
Modesty is very important to us. We want people to look at our countenance rather than our bodies.
You do not have to try cocaine to know that it's bad.
All in all, I think these two are a good match, as any fundamentalist arranged marriage can possibly be. They both love the outdoors, Jesus, and flipping houses.
Good morning, you guys. Welcome to my camper.
Although Austin did get in trouble recently when a couple bought a house from him and then sued him for fraud when they discovered that he did not get the proper permits to install a septic system. The couple claims that the septic system was not properly installed and cost them over $20,000 to repair. Austin and Joy have one son and a baby on the way. In 2019, Joy suffered a really terrible miscarriage. Her friends and family were very supportive and showered her with love during that time. She now has a YouTube channel where she details her day-to-day life, and her and Austin have these weird libertarian friends that make annoying content.
Finger guns. Boom.
Yeah, those are cool.
Jedediah Duggar. Whoever thought a Duggar would run for office again? Jed Duggar is currently running for Arkansas State Representative on the 2020 standard GOP platform of pro-life, pro-gun, pro-religious freedom over human decency.
Hello, District 89. This is Jed Duggar, running to be your next state representative. I've grown up in the Springdale area all my life and am a local small business owner. I understand the important issues facing the residents and businesses of Springdale. As your next state representative, I will fight for sound economic policies, push for more tax relief for all Arkansans, and advocate for conservative values. I'm a Christian and I will stand up for religious liberties. I'm pro-life and I will be an advocate for the unborn. And I will always defend our Second Amendment. With your prayer, support, and help, I look forward to serving you as a strong conservative voice in Little Rock.
His opponent is Democrat Megan Godfrey, and if you'd like to support her campaign, go to meganforarkansas.com. There has been recent speculation online that Jed does not actually live with the Duggars anymore. When all the drama with the FBI raid was happening, someone asked him about it on Instagram, and he said, "I don't live there, and I am not aware of any investigation." Now for the rest of them!
Jeremiah, Jason, James, Justin, Jackson, Johanna, Jennifer, Jordan, and our youngest daughter, Josie.
In 2011, Michelle miscarried a baby who they named Jubilee. Since then, she seems to be content with her season of life and seems to be enjoying being a grandmother. The Duggars may present themselves as America's most wholesome quiver, but behind the facade lies many dark secrets. Patriarchy, sexual abuse, educational neglect, the list goes on. Sure, it's fun to cringe watch their show, but keep in mind that when you're watching, these people are real and the policies that they advocate for can and will affect our lives. Hopefully they will all lay low for the rest of the year and I won't have to make another video chronicling their scandals. If you like this video, I have more resources in the info box below. Remember to check me out on social media and consensually smash that like and subscribe button and have a great day.
She loves kids, I could tell that with Jordan. She just loved her. She wished she could take her home with her.
I'm just gonna take you. They've got too many children already. They won't miss one more. Let's go. Let's go. Say bye-bye. We'll see you in a few years.
You know who's also an awesome country singer but won't steal your baby? My buddy Anthony Wilkerson.
What's happening to me? I hope you can see what's happening.